Hi guys, welcome back to the channel. Drogs here, fully painted miniatures. And today we're going to be doing our first look, our first playthrough of the Depths expansion for Aeons End 2nd Edition. There's only one Nemesis in this box. So we're going to be going up against him. It's the Horde Crone. He seems to like summon these little orc-like dudes. It's pretty cool. Difficulty 6. Set up, shuffle all of your Trogs together. They come in their separate deck and place them face down to form the Trog deck. Draw a card from the Trog deck and place it into play. So, Yud. Show it to you guys. Those like blue spiky orcs. Alright. So they just kind of, looks like they sit there, and if you get 2 of them, a player suffers 2 damage, 3, a player suffers 3, and 4, player suffers 4 damage, and then discard all. So that's very heavy player attack. This is going to be a tough game because of the restrictions I put on myself. Because I'm using all content from the new expansion, and there's a lot of things that damage your players, like including your own cards, and nothing that heals. Yeah. So I think you're supposed to really play these with either Brahma or Kadir. One of them, but not doing that. Alright, so other rules for the Horde Crone. There are 3 types of Trogs in the Trog deck: Orps, Yuds, and Zoms. When a Trog enters play, resolve the effect on that card equal to the number of Trogs in play of that Trog's type. The first Trog has no effect. When a Trog is discarded, place in the Trog discard pile. Unleash. Shuffle the Trog discard pile into the Trog deck and draw a card from the Trog deck and place it in play. 60 life. Alright. So for our mages, we're using Zana and Reeve. Zana has a unique card, Eternal Ember. Deal 1 damage, or cast one of your prepared spells without discarding it. Very cool. Her special ability costs 5 charges, and it restores 7 life to Gravehold. Super, super cool. Very excited about her. That finally lets me use a different setup that doesn't have focusing orbs on expert difficulty, because you got to be able to heal Gravehold. And then we're also going with Reeve over here. Her unique card is Obsidian Shard. Gain 1 Aether. You may suffer 1 damage. If you do, gain an additional 2 Aether. So it's worth 3 if you're willing to take damage. So that's first example of a card that damages your player. She also starts with her first breach of... Oh, yeah, sorry. And her special ability costs 4 charges, so it's one of the lower cost abilities. And it deals 5 damage to a minion and then 3 damage to a different minion. Doesn't target the Nemesis, but should be super useful taking out these. Basically, her special ability would take out 2 of the Trogs, or 5 damage to a different minion. So, she's pretty cool. She starts with the first breach open, second at 3 cost, third at 7, fourth at 7. Zana starts with 0 breaches open, which is interesting. So her first turn is kind of a waste, because she basically opens her 4th breach and preps Eternal Ember. Just because hers start with 5, 7, and 4 with no first breach. Alright, and for our store, I've just picked the Jade and Diamond Cluster as my first 2 starting cards. All the rest are from the expansion. So pay 2, gain 2 for the Jade. Diamond Cluster, pay 4, gain 2. But if you play 2 of them at the same time, the second one is worth 4. So if you play both of them, it's worth 6. And then our first of our new cards, Banishing Topaz, 5 cost, gain 2 Aether. You may place any card in hand on top of your deck. If you do, gain an additional 2. So it's worth 2, but if you're willing to like take a crystal and throw it back on your pile, that's worth 4. Or a spark or something like that. Alright, first relic, Transmogrifier. 4 cost, destroy a card in hand. You may gain a card from any supply pile that costs up to 3 Aether more than the destroyed card. I think this is super cool. But one of the best ways to use this card, in my opinion, is to get rid of starting cards, because you're destroying them. And I don't have any 3-cost cards in this deck, except for Jade, which is 2 costs. So it's not set up efficiently to take really good advantage of this, in my opinion. Although there is at least one other combination that makes sense. Then we also have Vin Dynamo, which is another 4-cost. Suffer 1 damage, any player draws 2 cards. This is another one that causes damage. Or you can destroy this and gain 2 life to a player and 1 charge. So that's pretty cool, but, you know, only 2 life on a destruction? I don't know. That doesn't feel like a ton of healing ability. First spell, Void Bond, 4 cost, deal 3 damage. That's good. And then you may cast any player's prepared spell. So I like that. That's pretty good. Combustion, 5 cost, deal 2 damage to a minion, do 2 damage to a different minion or the nemesis. That's pretty good. This would be great for getting rid of the Trogs. And Devouring Shadow, 6 cost. While prep once returned during your main phase, you may destroy a card in your hand. Cast, deal 3 damage. So pretty low damage for 6 cost, but getting to destroy your starter cards, that's cool. And Monstrous Inferno. This spell must be prepped to 2 adjacent breaches, so this card touches both breaches. It fully occupies both breaches. Deals 7 damage, divided however you choose, to the nemesis and any number of minions. So that's why I took this one. Because 7 damage, and if you prep this to the 3rd and 4th, that's plus 2 bonus damage. So that's 9 damage that you can divide up among your minions. So that one's going to be crucial. The card I didn't take from this is Disintegrating Scythe. This card makes no sense to me. It's 7 cost, does 8 damage, which is really high. But then it says suffer 1 damage. Instead of discarding this, destroy it or place on top of any player's discard pile. So you suffer 1 damage to discard it? I don't get it. Or destroy it? Like, why would you want to destroy it? Why would you want to destroy a 7-cost card? It doesn't make any sense. It just doesn't... And that seems optional to me. Cast, deal 8 damage. Or maybe it's not optional. But in that case where it's not optional, that's too high. That should not cost 7. Maybe 6. It just doesn't... It doesn't look good to me at all. I think that's a pretty terrible card. And Nim is our other mage. I am not using him. His special ability is kind of defensive focused, and I want to try him out on expert mode. So this first impression, just going to say, does not seem, if you're trying to pick between this expansion or the Nameless, I would go with the Nameless. You get 2 Nemesises in the Nameless expansion, and the cards seem better at first glance. These ones seem a little weird, and not necessarily that useful. The mages are pretty cool though. Although the mage from Nameless is pretty cool as well. So anyway, let's see what happens. See how this plays out. All right, Horde Crone's gonna go first. He unleashes. How does he unleash his first action? Okay, so we get an Orp comes into play from the Unleash. And then the players collectively discard gems equal to the number of Trogs in play. I can't really discard any of Zana's cards because it wouldn't make any sense. So I'm going to discard both crystals from Reeve, because if I discard hers, then she just can't do anything with her first turn. Alright, so we do get Zana. So she's going to pay 4 to open that 4th breach and prep Eternal Ember. Now Reeve's going to go, and she's going to pay 1 life. Which leaves her with 9. so that she could open her second breach to prep both sparks. So at least I didn't completely waste those turns. All right. So we are going to cast Eternal Ember. It gets +1 from the 4th, which means it does 2 damage, and we're going to kill the orb. Actually, we're going to kill the Yud. So the orb, I didn't show you guys, but basically, orbs do damage to Greyfold, Yuds do damage to players, and I can heal Greyfold, I cannot really heal players. So she casts that. She's going to prep Spark to the 4th breach. And for 4, she's going to buy 2 Jades. No. Diamond cluster it is. I don't like that though. I don't like how this is lining up. So I think this is one of those expansions where you're probably not best served by using all of the expansion cards. So you probably need to combine these with 9 deck. Oh my lord. Unleash twice. Then discard a Dragon play. Okay, so when you unleash, you shuffle the discarded Trogs back into the Trog deck. Okay, so we get a Yud and a Zom, so 1 of each. And what do Zoms do? Damages a player, discards cards, and can do massive damage to Greyfold if it gets 4. Okay. And then discard 1, so I will discard the Yud again. And we get Reeve. Okay, she's going to cast both Sparks and kill the Zom. And then prep both Sparks, and then she will buy a Jade. So I feel like I handled that pretty well as far as, like, I didn't take any damage. It's really good. I got lucky, especially with 3 unleashes. What the hell? Crazy. But all I was able to purchase was a Jade and a Diamond Cluster out of 4 activations, so that's significantly less than what I'm used to. Nemesis. Eye of Nothing. Power 2. Unleash twice. Discard, spend 6 Aether. Alright, we get Zana. She's going to cast Spark for 2. And discard the Orb. So that's nice. Prep Eternal Ember again. And then for 4, she'll buy another Diamond Cluster. I do like how they're both set up to do 2 damage per turn to take care of those Trogs. Although in expert difficulty, Trogs have 3 life, so that wouldn't have the same advantage. What am I doing? Okay, yeah. So she is going to cast 2 Sparks. And that's going to hit the Horde Crone, dropping him to 58. She'll prep 2 Sparks. And then she's got 3 Aether, or 5 if I choose to lose 1 life, which I will. Get a Banishing Topaz. And this is worth 6 Aether. I will buy Devouring Shadow. I will cast 1 Spark for 1 damage. Prep 1 Spark, and then she generates 5 Aether, and she will grab a Combustion. And your Nemesis gets to go. We take a token off of I have nothing. Oh, sorry. Unleash. It's fine. We'll just draw that orb I already saw. Any player suffers 3 damage and then draws a card. So Zana takes 3 damage, drops her to 7, and she draws a crystal. Hope you guys are doing well. I know I haven't been making as many videos lately, but getting back into it. League of Dungeoneers should be coming in pretty soon, next month. So hopefully I'm going to switch over to that. I have nothing does go off. That's a double unleash. So if you like kind of hex crawls, dungeon crawls, that's probably what this channel is going to shift towards for quite a while. Alright, we do get 2 Yuds. That means Zana is going to take 2 damage. And we still draw a card. Crushing Masses. Power 2. If there are no Trogs in play, unleash twice. Otherwise, Gravehold suffers 2 damage for each Trog in play. Excuse me. Go again. Take a power token off Crushing Masses. And we get the Haze Spewer. 5 life. Does damage equal to its current life to Gravehold, then suffers 1 damage every activation. Alright, we do get Reeve. She's gonna hit the Haze Spewer for 2. Drops into 3. With both those sparks, she'll prep another spark. And then she will move her Obsidian Shard back into her deck. And that's worth 6 Aether. Banishing Topaz goes up to 4 plus 2 crystals. She will also take a Devouring Shadow. Start a little deck curation. Alright, she gets to go again. She will cast Spark 1 more time on the Haze Spear, bring him to 1 life. She will prep Combustion and Spark. And she will pay 1 life to make Obsidian Shard worth 3. And then that's a total of 6 Aether again. And she will grab a Diamond Cluster and a Jade. So there's nothing that generates charges in this deck. There's nothing that opens breaches. Basically nothing that heals. It's a strange setup for me. Zana's turn. She's going to cast Turtle Ember. For 2, kill the Haze Spear. Prep Spark. And then this is worth 6 Aether. And she will buy a Diamond Cluster and a Jade. She will go again. She will cast Spark to kill one of the Yuds. It's a 2 damage Spark. Prep Devouring Darkness. Once per turn during your main phase, you may destroy a card in hand. I will destroy a crystal. And then I generate 4 Aether, which is enough for another Diamond Cluster. So she now has 4 Diamond Clusters. And they are stacked near each other, so that's very, very good. 2, 3, 4, 5. I believe Reeve has 1. Maybe 2, because there's only 1 left, it looks like. I don't see the advantages of those relics, I really don't. The Vin Dynamo doesn't make sense until after I've started getting rid of my starter cards. So it's a late, both of its abilities are kind of a late game activation. Transmogrifier, sure. Yeah, like, okay, I could buy combustions, use them for a while, and then use transmogrifiers to trade them in for Monstrous Inferno. That makes sense, but it costs 9 to buy a transmogrifier and a combustion. So it's still less efficient. So to me, that's a later game card where I buy combustions early, buy transmogrifiers mid game if I don't have enough for Monstrous Inferno so I can upgrade them. But again, that only makes sense if after all my breaches are open. And it doesn't make sense to destroy I don't know, maybe use Transmogrifier to destroy Vin Dynamo. Does that make sense? So then I'm using that makes more sense to me. Then I'm using the Vin Dynamo to gain 2 life, a charge, and 7 Vin Aether. That makes a lot more sense. If you can double it up that way. Is that how it works? I don't know. Let me know in the comments if that's breaking the rules. I would probably play it that way. Okay, so Nemesis' turn. Crushing Magnus activates if there are no other. So Grateful takes 4 damage, 2 from each Trog in play. Drops us to 26. And we draw. Ooh. Horde Hybrid. Immediately unleash. This minion becomes a Trog for the type that has the most of its type in play. Okay. When this card is discarded, place in the Horde Crone's discard pile. So he's pretty badass. I'm not putting health counters on these unless I damage them, but these all have 2 life. And we also Zom, 1 of each. I don't know if I'm supposed to activate because of that. So he counts as a Trog of whatever one is the biggest, but I have 1 of each. So I guess I'll count him as an orc. And Grateful will take 2 damage as well. Okay. I will cast Devouring Shadow. It's going to do 4 damage to the Horde Hybrid. Prep Eternal Ember. And then this is worth 2, 4, 6, 8 Aether. Which is enough for combustion, and she will focus her 3rd breach. Okay, she gets to go again. Eternal Ember is going to be cast for 2. She's going to kill the Yud. Prep Spark, and then she's worth 5. Grab another combustion. I'm going to get Reeve. She's going to cast Combustion and Spark. She will do 2 damage to the Zom, killing it, 2 damage to the Horde Hybrid, and then the Spark will hit the Horde Hybrid, dealing 3. Feels weird to have new cards. They're so slick. My cards are so worn out. They have a very different feel to them. Then prep Devouring Shadow and Spark. And she will use Devouring Shadow to destroy this other Spark. And she will purchase a Jade. Nemesis. Nidama, 11 life, 2 damage to Gravehold for activation. And we get Reeve again. We will cast Spark for 1 damage on Nidama. Prep Spark. We will use Devouring Shadow to destroy Crystal. And we will put this crystal back into the deck so that this is worth 4 and that is worth 2. And that is enough for a second Devouring Shadow. Actually, should have grabbed the diamond. I'm actually going to take that back if that's okay. Yeah. I'm going to take a diamond cluster and a jade. So that way I got that last diamond cluster and I have it next to her other one. Alright, Nidama activates, does 2 damage to Gravehold. Then we get Topple, Unleash twice, and 4 damage to Gravehold. So, shuffle the Trog deck. Orc and Zom. And because there's 2 orcs, Gravehold also suffers another 2 damage. And then Gravehold suffers 4. So that brings us down to 16. Okay, then we have Zana. She's gonna cast Spark and kill this first orc. Prep Devouring Shadow, destroy a crystal. And then she's got 6, 7 Aether. Which is enough for a Combustion and a Jade. And we get Reeve. She's going to cast nothing. 4, 5, 6, 7. Or 9 if I would choose to lose a life. No, I'm good. And for 7, she will buy Combustion and the last Jade. Okay. We will cast Devouring Shadow. It's going to do 4 damage to the Nidama. We went with 6. We'll then prep Combustion. And this is worth 8 Aether. and she will. Monstrous Inferno. And she's got the 8, right? Might as well. So at this point, she should be spending all of her Aether opening up her breaches and then on charges. Reeve. Okay. She's going to cast both Spark and Devouring Shadow. That's worth 4. Brings Nidamal down to 2. And then preps Combustion and Spark and generates 4 Aether, which will focus her 4th breach. And Nidamal does 2 damage to Gravehold. And we draw Venomite. 9 life. Does 2 damage to the player with the lowest life, or discard spells worth 3 or more. He doesn't feel super dangerous. It's really his unleashes that even bring them in. Although I could just have gotten really lucky with the shuffles. To be fair, I haven't really had any issue with the Trogs activating their ability. All right, we get Reeve. So we're going to start with Combustion. That's going to kill the Nidamal. And the Orb. 2 damage to each. Spark is going to do 1 damage to Nidamal. Brings him to 8. Prep Spark. I then have 6, 8, 10 Aether. It's a lot. She will open her 4th breach. She will buy Devouring Shadow. Nemesis's turn. Venomite. Do I have something I want to discard? I'll discard the Combustion. That's fine. Unleash twice. Any player suffers 2 damage. I feel like I've gotten really bad luck on those. Just extra unleashes. Okay, Reeve's going to take the 2 damage. Both my characters are at 5 now. And we get 2 Zombs. And a Yud. And at 2 Zombs, the player with the lowest life suffers 1 damage, so Zana's going to take 1 damage. Leaves her with 4. Nemesis gets to go again. Venomite is going to do 2 damage to Zana. And we draw. Unleash twice. Or place the most recently discarded minion back in play. Nidamal comes back into play. Alright. Here's where I'm getting spanked a little. Okay. We're going to leave the Spark. We're going to prep Combustion, 4th breach, and that's worth 7 Aether, which I will buy a Vin Dynamo and a charge. Okay. I'm going to focus her third breach for 3. I'm going to prep Combustion and Eternal Ember. Okay, sweet. So I'm going to use Eternal Ember's special ability to cast Combustion without discarding it. So that is enough to kill both Zoms. And then I'm going to cast Combustion. And I will kill the Yud and do 3 damage to the Venomite. I'll then prep Combustion to the 4th breach, and I generate 6 Aether. Which is enough to focus her 2nd breach for the spark and purchase 2 charges. I have a shot at winning. Not a great one, but there's a shot. Even though I've done very little damage so far. Alright, Reeve is going to cast Combustion, which is going to do 3 damage to the Venomite and 3 to Mutamaw. She'll then prep Spark and Devouring Shadow. She'll use Devouring Shadow to destroy a crystal. And she generates 3 Aether, 5 if I choose to lose a life. She'll just take the 3 for a... no, charge. Okay, we have to discard that Corruption to stop the Venomite. Mutamaw does 2 damage to Gravehold, and we draw. Pulverizing Ray, Power 1. Gravehold suffers 18 damage. You may discard gems to prevent up to 3 damage for each gem discarded this way. Alright, and Xana's going to cast this Spark for 1 on the Venomite. She will then prep, she will spend 3 to open her 3rd breach and prep Monstrous Inferno. That ends her turn. Nemesis. I will not Ooh, no. I will discard Devouring Shadow. Prevent Venomite's damage. Gravehold takes 2 from the Mutamaw. Pulverizing Ray activates. I will discard 5 gems. So Gravehold still takes 3 damage, drops us to 7. Rabid Hysteria. Immediately unleash twice. Yud and a Zom. And any player, Power 2, any player suffers 1 damage for each Trog in play. Okay, sweet. We do get Zana. So we're going to cast Monstrous Inferno. Deals 7 damage, divided however we choose, to the Nemesis and any number of minions. It's actually +1/+1, so it's 9 damage. So we are going to kill the Venomite for 1. We're going to kill both of these Trogs, so that's 5. And then do 4 damage to the Nidamal, leaving him with 4. So what's really cool is you can use this with her unique card to double cast Monstrous Inferno. I will then prep Combustion and Devouring Shadow. So she actually is really good, even though she doesn't have 4 breaches, which I thought was going to be a problem. Reeve is going to go next. She will cast both Sparks, deal 2 damage to the Nidamal, and she will prep Combustion, Spark, and Devouring Shadow. Feel pretty good. I need one of my players to get the turn first. So 66% chance I go before Nemesis. Even if it does, it's only 2 damage to Grateful. It's not the end of the world. But it does get to be the Nemesis. So that's 2 damage from the Nidamal, and take a token off Rabid Hysteria, and we draw a card. Servitude to Evil. Discard, spend 7 Aether, power 2, unleash 4 times, then discard 2 Trogs in play. But the Trog's abilities still activate, so that's pretty nasty. So I would like to get rid of that if possible. Okay, so we're going to start with Combustion. It's going to do 3 damage to the Nidamal, killing it. And 3 damage to the Nemesis, bringing it to 54. Then we will cast Devouring Shadow for 4 damage to the Nemesis, bringing it to 50. And then we're going to prep Combustion, Eternal Ember. And for 3, she's going to buy a single charge. Not enough to get rid of Servitude to Evil. Rabid Hysteria activates. Does nothing because all the Trogs are dead. And we take 1 token off of Servitude of Evil. Reality Rupture, power 1, unleash 3 times. Discard, destroy 2 prep spells that cost 3 or more. Interesting. Okay. I'm going to cast Eternal Ember just for the 2 damage to the Horde Crone. So the way I read Combustion, you can't double cast it on the Nemesis. You can hit him for 3, but you can't hit him for 6. I'll prep another Combustion, and I generate 6 Aether. Which I will use to focus. 2 to focus her second breach, prepping Spark, and I'll use 4 for 2 charges, and I'll activate her ability to heal Gravehold 7, bringing it back up to 12. Okay, and we do get Reeve. Cool. So she will destroy Combustion and Devouring Shadow to get rid of Reality Rupture. She will also, what is this, 6, 8, 10 Aether. She will spend 7 to discard Servitude of Evil. She will also buy a charge. And she will suffer 1 damage. No, she's just going to destroy this Vin Dynamo. And that will heal Zana 2 and give her a charge. Okay. Ooh, nice. So I was able to clear the board. I will leave the spark. I'll prep the combustion. And that is 7 Aether, which I will buy a Void Bond and a charge. So my board control feels really good. I do feel like I'm a little late. So tier 3 cards, I'm surprised they're not already out there. I feel really good that I was able to heal her back up, get those special abilities up. Those combustions are all on deck, so that's all good. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Wreak Havoc. Unleash twice. Resolve the effect of each of the trogs into play by this card 1 additional time. Okay. Luckily, so that is a tier 3 card. Luckily, I don't have anything. Oh, these don't go here. That's fine. So, because they're different, no effects happened. So, that's that. Alright, cool. I will cast 1 combustion to kill both. Oh, no. To kill 1 and do 3 damage to the Horde Crone. Drops to 45. Second combustion, same thing. Kill 1 Trog and 3 damage to the Horde Crone. I'll also cast Spark. I have to, for 1 damage. And that's worth 6, 7, 8, 9. I will buy another Monstrous Inferno. Could have also healed Grateful again, which isn't a bad way to do it. They're both good options. Nemesis, nothing on the board. Jagged 1, tier 3, 14 life, unleash twice. Alright. I'm actually going to prep Combustion and Devouring Shadow. And then for 3, I will open our second breach. And I'll hold on to Monstrous Inferno for now. Alright, we get Reeve. She's going to cast Spark for 1, Combustion for 3. To do 4 damage to Jagged 1. It also does 3 damage to the Horde Crone, bringing us 38. I'm going to prep Devouring Shadow, destroying a crystal. And that gives... Oh, yeah, I forgot about that. That's fine. She will use her special ability to do 5 damage to Jagged 1. The other 3 gets wasted. But I'm going to spend 4 to buy 2 more charges, so I only had to use half. I only use half the ability, but I only had to use half my charges, so it's alright. Okay, she does get to go again. Sweet. We're going to cast Devouring Shadow for... No, we're not. Yeah, we are. We will cast Devouring Shadow for 4 damage on Horde Crone. Drop it on to 34. We're going to prep 2 Sparks. And we generate 6, 8 Aether, which is enough for a Vin Dynamo and 2 charges. And I will use her ability to do 5 more damage to the flayed one. Once again, using half. But killing it. So I feel pretty good. Most of my breaches are open. I wish I had Monstrous Infernos on Reeve, especially after I destroyed those 2 spell cards for her. But board control feels pretty good. Underworld Totem, 12 life. When a player deals damage, that player must deal damage to a Trog if there are any Trogs in play. Immediately unleash twice, and then persistently unleash twice. So that's pretty deadly. Oh, I gotta shift this back in. So we get warp. I probably wasn't playing that perfectly with the shuffling, like especially when it's having you shuffle twice with like double and triple unleashes. I'm just drawing 2 rather than shuffling 3 times, destroying all my cards. I don't see what the difference is. Okay, we do get 2 warps. So Gravefold takes 2 damage. Brings us to 10. Okay. Zana's turn. She's going to cast Combustion to kill both orcs. 3 each. She will then cast Devouring Shadow for 4 on the Underworld Totem. Drops it to 8. And she will then prep Eternal Ember and Monstrous Inferno. And she generates 4 Ether for 2 charges. Nemesis gets to go. We get another double unleash. So I'm just gonna shuffle once. Drop 2. Work in Chud. Yud. Oh, sorry. Still gets her. Draw. Besiege, unleash twice. If there are 3 or fewer Trogs in play, unleash again until there are 4. Warps. Gravefold takes 2 damage. Now it's Sana's turn. Okay. She's going to cast Eternal Ember to cast Monstrous Inferno, which is worth 9 damage. So that's enough to kill all 4 and do 1 damage to the totem. And then she will cast Monstrous Inferno again for 9. Deal 7 damage to the Underworld Totem and 2 damage to the Horde Crone. So that clears the board, drops Horde Crone to 32. And then we're going to prep 2 Combustions and a Spark. And I have 4 Aether, which is enough for her special ability, 2 tokens. And I will use it to heal Gravefold from 8 to 15. So I love her special ability. That's crazy. That's so good. Another Monstrous Inferno right there. Okay. We will cast this Spark for 2 to do 2 damage to the Horde Crone. Prep the Void Bond. And that's 4, 6. Ooh. Okay, I will use Banishing Topaz. Bring that crystal back. And that is now worth 10 Aether. Oh, no, 8. 4 here, 8. And that will buy a Monstrous Inferno. And she gets to go again. Okay. I will cast the Void Bond for 4 damage. And I'll cast her Spark, I guess, for 1. Not the best way to do it, but if I use the Combustions, it's kind of a waste I'll prep Combustion and Spark. And I have 4 Aether. That's enough for 2 charges. I thought I was going to get more deck curation out of the Devouring Shadows, but I guess I never really left them alone. I just kept using them. Even a little bit. That thing goes a long way. Alright. Nemesis. He's almost out of cards. Look at that. 4 cards left. So this is definitely a character I think I want on Expert Mode. I'm going to defeat him by defensive play. By having him run out of cards. Any player places their discard pile on top of their deck, shuffles it, and destroys the top 4 cards. Then unleash twice. I'm surprised how much life both of my characters have, despite basically no healing. Not bad. 3 out of 4 were starting cards. Then unleash twice. Zom and Yud. Okay. And we get Reeve. She will cast both Sparks, kill the Zom. She will cast Combustion to kill the Yud and do 3 damage to the Horde Crone. She'll prep Devouring Shadow, using it to destroy a crystal. And she will destroy a Vin Dynamo to heal Zana another 2 and give her another charge. So Zana's all the way up to 6 life again. And then generates 2 charges with the Diamond Cluster and Jade to power up her special ability. She gets to go again. She will cast Devouring Shadow for 4, because there's nothing I want to destroy in her hand. Brings us on to 18. We will prep Monstrous Inferno. And we will bring the Spark back using the Banshee Topaz, so 4, 6, 8, so that I may open her 3rd breach. In which case, I am prepping the Monstrous Inferno to the 3rd and 4th breach. I think I got this one, you guys. Depends what how deadly those tier 3 cards are. Alright. I will cast 1 Combustion, doing 3 damage to the Horde Crone. Allows me to prep Monstrous Inferno. And this is worth 2, 6, 7, 8. That's enough for a special ability. 4 tokens. I will pay all that. And I will heal Gravehold another 7, bringing me up to 22. So Gravehold's at 22. She's got 6 life. She's got 5. There's only 3 cards left in the Nemesis deck. And I have... oh, look at that. Another 2 Monstrous Infernos. So an 8 damage and a 9 damage Monstrous Inferno on deck. Plus a Combustion, plus a Quelling Blade. And then I got another Monstrous Inferno, Combustion, and Void on deck. So I'm feeling pretty good. Gravehold suffers 4 damage, and the player with the lowest life suffers 4 damage. I will accept that. That brings Reeve to 1. Grateful to 18. Look at that. Alright, Combustion's worth 3 damage. Monstrous Inferno is worth 8. So that is 11 damage to the Horde Crone. Drops him to 4 life. And I get to prep a Combustion and a Monstrous Inferno. And I still have 4 Aether, which is worth 2 charges. Actually, I'll buy, you know what, in that case, I'm going to actually buy a Vin Dynamo. She doesn't have very many cards in her deck, so I might be able to use that to heal Reeve. Look at that. Yeah, very few cards left. Feeling pretty good, you guys. Unless it's a player with the lowest life suffers immediate damage. Even that's not going to kill me, because she's still got 6 life. 2 cards left for the Horde Crone. That's it. This is the final round. One way or the other. Nemesis does get to go. Unleash twice. The player with the most open breaches discards 4 cards in hand or suffers 4 damage. Oh. Shuffle. So Orp is the first draw, which is a good one because that protects me basically from damage to players. And the Yud. And then the player with the most open breaches, that's Reeve, destroys 4 cards in her hand. Boom. Or suffers 4 damage. Nope, those are destroyed. That's okay. Ooh, double activation. Doomagus, power 1. The player with the most charges suffers 4 damage and loses all of their charges. You may discard for 7 Aether. So that's the last Nemesis card. I don't win yet. I win on the next Nemesis draw. I basically won, but I have to wait till the next Nemesis card comes up. But the fact that I survived that because it's power 1, that's a good game. So we get Zana. Cool. I mean, look at this. Combustion. Kills both Trogs. Look at that. Oh, I don't have 7. I have 6. That's all right. Monstrous Inferno is worth 9. There's 4 life. -5. Yeah. Defeated Horde Crone on the first try. And I almost defeated him through lack of activations, which is crazy. And I mean, I would have had... That was a double activation, so I still had 3 more turns. Actually defeated him kind of easily. Gravehold still got 18 life. Reeve has 1. Zana has 6, but I have a Vin Dynamo. Right here. That would have healed Reeve 2, brought her back 3. And I could have afforded those pretty easily. That is worth 6 points of healing between the 3 of them. Pretty fun, pretty interesting. I think I got really lucky with the Trog deck, I will say. Just the card layout, that was really easy. It's not supposed to be that easy. I didn't use Transmogrifier Vin Dynamo combo the way I talked about. I basically didn't use Void Bond. It was pretty much all Combustion and Monstrous Infernos there at the end. Used Banishing Topaz a couple times and just some basic cards. Yeah, wasn't any Devouring Shadow. Crept in there a few times. Pretty simple, pretty straightforward. What I would say is you want to pick your Trogs based on your setup. So because I'm using Zana, Orbs aren't much of a threat because they do damage to Gravehold. Right? It can do 2 damage, 3 damage, or potentially 5. But if it does do 5, it discards all 4 Orbs that are on the board, which is worth 8 points of damage anyway, from your side. So she heals Gravehold for 7. for 10 Aether. Not that big of a threat. Whereas the Yud will do 2 damage, 3 damage, 4 damage to a player. And it's much harder for me to, I can gain 7 life for 10 Aether. I can't gain 7 life for 10 Aether. I can gain 10 for 20 Aether using the Vin Dynamos. So it's much more efficient, especially with Zana, to handle the Orps than the Yuds. So I just made sure I focused on them. And I got really good luck in terms of the other cards, just kind of handling them. And there's quite a bit of firepower. You put that, Combustion in the 3rd breach or 4th breach, which she starts with open basically, and it's worth 6 damage, 3 to 2 different minions. So, yeah, pretty fun. Next time I'll be trying it on expert mode, and we'll see how that goes. And I'll probably use Zana and Nim for the first try, because I like that. All right, guys. Love you. You're the best. Hope you enjoy.